sacred grounds, watered with tears of blood. Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
On a cold winter morning, in the time before the light, in flames of death's eternal rain, we ride towards the fight. When the darkness is falling down, in the times of sorrow rise, the sound of evil laughter falls around the world tonight. Fighting hard, fighting on for the steel, through the wastelands evermore. The skeleton souls will feel the hell that's wasted on the shore. On the blackest waves in hell's domain, we watch them as they go. In fire and pain, now once again we love. So now we fly, yeah, we're free. We're free before the thunderstorm. On towards the wilderness, our quest carrying on. Far beyond the sundown, far beyond the moonlight. Deep inside our hearts and all our souls. So far away, we wait for the day, yeah. For the lights also wasted in blood. We feel the pain of a lifetime lost in 1,000 days. Through the fire and the flames we carry on. Now here we stand with that blood on our hands. We fought so hard, now can we understand? Now break the seal of this curse if I possibly can. For freedom of every man.
This is where we hold them.
So far away, we wait for the day, yeah. For the lights also wasted in blood. We feel the pain of a lifetime lost in 1,000 days. Through the fire and the flames we carry on.
Well, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And look, Deej is here. He's back from cotton picking. That's Angus's job. Stop stealing. Stop stealing Angus's job, Deej. And it's great to see you all watching.
Half Black Angus is not amused.
He's not.
And in this episode of Rogue Entertainment, on the 11th day of the 11th month of the year 2023, we will be shooting the shit, as it were, in regards to a random roundtable discussion. Our host and founder, the author Stephen Walton, also known as Ladonis Dragonstorm, myself, Ryan Roger Athe, reality-based, as our intro speaker, and all the fine folks in the panel and in the chat. Slender Dad, Immortal Coil, first time speaking to you, my good man. I hope you're well. Deej is back. Black Angus is black. And Bad Take Tina Bojan is a lovely lady. So on that note, and Steven's in his car because he can't.
Again, imagine that. One day I'll have a studio. One day I will have a studio. I promise you. I'm working on that.
Working a full head of hair. Please continue.
Yeah, hail the chat. Thank you guys so much for coming here. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you. What's up, awesome one? Hail, brother. Can I bring it up? Hail, brother. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Soul Assassin is in the house. What is up, dude? Good to see you. Gap After Dark. Need to bring you back on in. You interested in being a rogue mod again, my brother? Gap took care of all the links. He was a link slinger for us back in the day, man. If you want to come on back in, just let me know, dude. Love to see you. Yeah, we're gonna. Honestly, guys, I've been working so much I haven't had a chance to really even play on the stream. But Tina found some wonderful articles, topics for us to talk about, and I'm glad my trans fatty brothers are here, and Slender Dad, Deej, and Ryan Roger Athy, because we're going to talk about why we don't put women in space.
Mhm.
So,
That'd be a good title for a show, Lesbians in Space.
I think that would be a hot porn, to be honest with you. I don't think.
Space scissors. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Coil. Right. I don't know, Angus. What do you think? Lesbians in space, yay or nay?
Depending if they're hot or not, lesbians are a good
Yes.
addition to any format.
Yes, I agree, sir. I agree. So why are we talking about lesbians? I mean, women in space, Tina.
Well, you see, during the fourth all-female spacewalk outside the International Space Station, one of the lovely ladies dropped a tool bag. So if you can see in the middle,
She
of
sure did. Yep.
if you can see in the middle of this image, there's a gorgeous little bag with some, clips. Kind of almost looks like a fanny pack. And according to the article, it has been seen orbiting the Earth since November 2nd. And the funny part is you can actually see this bag by just using binoculars. If you can spot the International Space Station, hop on some binoculars, and you can see the bag floating.
So the bonus is it took 4 spacewalks for that to happen, I guess, right?
That's one big bag. She should go and get it. That should be her task, to go and get the bag back.
But yeah, oh, go ahead.
Was it Ryan or Slender? Which one of you guys said it wouldn't that be fucked up if the bag destroyed the International Space Station?
Yes, that was me. Although I would like to say something even more controversial, but I think I should refrain from that.
Oh no, please, Ryan, don't hold back.
Well, there
Don't
is
do that
one
on my
thing
account.
worse than women in space. I've never heard of any black astronauts or cosmonauts, for that matter. So, do you imagine Africans in space?
There was a few.
What, Jesse Jackson went to space?
Wakanda's got a whole space program, man.
I have a dream
That's
that
very
one
true.
day my brothers and sisters will go to space and make that a shithole. Please continue.
Oh my god.
My question is, what if this thing falls back to Earth? Like
Women-
You'll get hit on the head with Louis Vuitton.
It might not burn
Yeah.
up on re-entry, so
They say that it is likely to disintegrate on reentry. So
oh yeah, I'll take
We
their word
shall
for
see.
it then.
Did a woman make that statement?
that I don't know. I'm not sure what the gender of the individual who wrote this article or
Okay,
who they interviewed at NASA.
Tina, were they just identifying as women, or did they possess a vagina at birth?
That I do not.
I don't know which is worse.
Well, let's see. We can take a look at the fourth ever all-female spacewalk and see if they have pictures of the lovely individual. We have the same Jasmine and Laurel.
Pictures can be deceiving. All right, some of those chicks with D's, they pass. They look like they pass.
I'd love for them all to take a photograph of each other, while on a spacewalk. That would save us a lot of time and effort. Wink, wink.
Well, it's like a
But,
50s movie. It's they, them in space.
Well, here is Jasmine over here on the left, and this is Laurel. Not that you can tell the difference, but so yeah, those are the only pictures we have of our.
They look like aliens. A person in an astronaut.
And it's an upskirt
looks like an
shot.
alien.
You see that?
I know. Yep.
I want to know what happened to the little rocket pack that they used to use on the damn shuttle. They should have one of those. They could just fly out, grab their bag, and take it back in.
Yeah.
They couldn't drive, so they took that. They took that away.
Oh,
Yeah. It blew up with the Challenger.
oops, too soon.
Damn, Coil, you made a
Challenger.
Challenger joke. I was staying away from that.
What's the Challenger? I'm only 24.
Hey, just
I know, right?
remember,
Yeah.
remember, anything named with a C is bad to go up in because it was Challenger and Columbia.
Ah.
Yep.
Don't they have like robotic arms that they could use to like reach out and grab the tools or?
Yeah, that arm was considered sexist, and they were not using it.
No, and Leia can just use a force and grab her Vuitton bag. You know,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
that's what Ryan Johnson.
Why are there no stars in space, man? Why are there no stars on the horizon?
Because
You
the
see
Earth
that-
is flat.
Ah, yeah.
And this is
Yeah,
only
that's
a
the
news story.
Astrodome. Yeah.
This
Ah.
is only a news story because it wasn't really tools in that tool bag. It was all their vibrators.
Now, that's a question.
They producing the first lesbian porn in space. Was that it?
Yeah.
How else is NASA going to make money? I mean, at this point, they're not doing any real exploration. My question is, would the vibrators disintegrate upon re-entry, or is some poor town somewhere going to be rained upon?
Well, it's like the sky is streaking like flaming dicks, and there's like 4 or 5 of them. It's like Smallville, where it's like kryptonite, but it's like dildos.
That would be one hell of a story for the Plastic Lord. Invasion of the dildos.
Well, they shouldn't
plastic
burn up.
Becomes
They shouldn't
sentient.
burn up because they're made for entry.
And
See what you did there.
re-entry.
Good one. But I mean, they make metal vibrators, so they might.
How do you know that?
Do they?
Tina, what's going on?
I'm a woman.
And a wife, for now.
Yep. And I've had some spectacular orgasms in my lifetime. And, we have no problem admitting to the fact that we use power tools in order to.
Some fucking robo-gasms.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mr. Bojan has ceiling hooks. That's what I hear. That's all I hear right now.
To change the subject, I'm always concerned when a vehicle or a person passes Stephen when he's on camera, because they might mug him. It is the United States of America, so that can happen. And we can witness it live, and I can use it as evidence that America is a very dangerous place. And I could make the woman joke if a woman attacks him, and a black joke if a black man attacks him.
No, I'm not really worried about that, Ryan, because I'm in a white van. They're worried about me snatching them. I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Well, and we have the Second Amendment here too, so just saying.
Damn.
And it's Veterans Day. Jesus Christ. Thank
Jesus
God
Christ
for people
was a veteran? Would
Yeah,
Jesus
you
Christ
know-
count as a veteran?
he might. He fought in the war against Lucifer.
Yes.
40 days in the
against
yeah.
those who stabbed him in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. He banged Mary Magdalene, so
Oh
what
my.
can you say? Yeah. That's what
We
the
don't- we don't-
Merovingians say. Yeah.
We
Anyway.
don't talk about the Book of Mary or the Gnostic texts here.
Sorry about that. That's my bad.
Oops.
Right. Remember, you're dealing with a pagan man.
Yes, pagan man.
I am a
Good
pagan man.
one. See?
What's up, Meg? What's up, Mega Reacts? Good to see you. JC won the war of killer abs, didn't he? Though I've never seen a more fit man die on a cross. It's
That's because he was carrying it.
yeah. That's even worse than what I said, Ryan. Good catch. Damn. Yes, Soul Assassin, pagan man. So what? I am a pagan man. Thank you. What? Why is that so funny? I don't understand.
I can't laugh. too
It's the
much.
onomatopoeia about it, dude. You're saying pagan?
Hey,
Pagan?
yeah.
All right. Just so we're all on the same table now. Yeah.
What's up, Mama Bear? Where you at? Good to see you, sweetheart.
Mhm.
Guys, what's everybody's talking about? Kathy, no, what? No, you're spelling it wrong. Gap, you're spelling it wrong.
No, Gap. That's the way you're saying it.
To tie this into the Marvels, I'm sure
It's pagan,
the
Gap.
author-
Pagan.
I'm
Sorry.
sure that the author Stephen Walton would surely be a pagan man for Brie Larson and her minority clones.
I would bang Brie Larson. I'll say it. I would bang Brie Larson. Yeah.
See, I think Tiana Paris is much prettier than Brie Larson, though.
I would
I'm
take
not
them both,
comparing.
but yeah, Tiana's She's got it. She's thick. And I love her natural.
She's better.
Well,
Way better.
mentally.
Angus, you saw Captain Marvel. You reviewed it with Rookie Critic. Give us an idea. Is what kind of, is it a good film? Did you have a good time?
No, I was bored, but not like Ghostbusters bored. I was definitely engaged with the plot because I like Marvel. It was just like there's so much. It's so hard to quantify. This is a flat 5 out of 10. It's not horrible. It's got things that they could have done. I think they really. This is like Rise of Skywalker kind of film where it's like I think they really paid attention to the fan sentiment regarding Brie Larson and Captain Marvel, feminism. This is. I honestly wish they would have done like Birds of Prey. Go with like, there's a core Harley Quinn thread, and then she's gets sidekicks for her quest that they could build on further. That is a messy film. It's not perfect, but it has some pizzazz. This one, they do a musical number, and it's like, oh, what a cool little twist to like open up in a comic movie, a musical number. You would think like Wizard of Oz, Barbie's had them, and Ricky just saw Mamma Mia, and that was a pleasant movie for me.
The Greatest Showman, great musical film.
I haven't seen that one, but I probably will watch it. I like Hugh Jackman. Yeah, you think like they could go with that because they get to this planet where it's like, oh, they only speak by singing. So if you just talk normal, they can understand. Which is kind of retarded, but whatever. Let's go with it. And they have really no inventiveness with it. That it's just they offer things and then they just skirt by them. It has a flow. There's a lot of information to take in through it. It's ham-fisted. I thought Brie Larson had a better performance.
Wait, did you say there was fisting?
No.
Was it a meh film?
It's meh just because it's like, honestly, I would have liked if they made a feminist film, if they had an actual edge to it. There's moments for Kamala Khan to grow, and it's just like they totally just didn't see it. The biggest problem is not that it's women, but like women made it, and women just you see like, all right, you got Superman level person, and so there's not a lot of threat to her. You need to make threats that she cares about, outside of herself, and they don't have it. It's a strange movie to take in. I do appreciate the kind of studio oversight to try to win fans into Captain Marvel, but it's flat. You need a man running this. You need more than just Nick Fury
with a toolbox.
You need that golden ratio AVS talks about, where it's like it's just too much women. You got 3 women versus a woman, and they kind of got a Killmonger problem. Nowhere near as engaging as Killmonger, even if you don't like him or agree with him. He's definitely engaging. You understand his perspective. He's a flawed, sympathetic villain. His perspective makes sense why you would have it. This one, there's like a core element you need to do with women. You either make them like as villains, you do usually something sexual, that they're kind of not chaste, that they're maybe a succubus or a whore, whatever. They use their sex for power, like Cersei. And for the heroes, heroic women, you can't make them men because they're women. Women, ultimately, the greatest gift is childbirth. And even if you make them like a nun or something, you have that task that they take on themselves, reflect a motherly love, that this is ultimately life. And Brie does a motherly thing, but there's no sacrifice. That's the problem of like a woman superhero, is like her motherly gift to this world holla has no sacrifice. It's just, oh, I can do it, and there's no challenge. And the villain is actually the most utterly misguided heroic. She's essentially a queen trying to revive her planet, and so she has a just goal through villainous means that cost other people. And so she's
like
actually
a nationalist world leader. who wants to make their country great again.
You know, it's not even necessarily genocidal. It will create genocides, but it's not like that's not the goal necessarily. It's to like screw Captain Marvel for her past that has set this all in motion. Again, there's a lot to talk about this movie, even though it's not well put together. They miss so many opportunities. They don't have any edge. I'd rather be pissed off with like TLJ. So it's like it's a strange movie. There's a lot to talk about, but there's no necessarily emotional investment directly in this film. It's just because it's part of a saga.
A lot of substance, no style, a lot of money put into it, and a massive financial bomb.
Unfortunately, yeah.
How did you find Brie Larson's singing voice?
She didn't do bad. They record because she's sung before. She's sung in like Scott Pilgrim. She's done some singing when she was coming up in the ranks in Hollywood. So she
was a singer at some point, right?
Yeah.
So she has experience.
Yeah, so she did fine, but they just didn't do enough with her. Oh, also she's married. They play it off like at first where it's like, oh, I gotta go to this planet because that's gonna be the next target. They figure out this villain woman's going to try to revive her planet with these three elements of atmosphere, water, and a sun, kind of like Starkiller base. And so she's picking targets that would be investments for Captain Marvel. And so she figures out, oh, she's going to go to this 99% water planet that my friend's at. I helped him in a legal issue. And then the legal issue ends up like, oh, I married him. They never explain like why it was important to marry him, but she has a husband on this planet, and it's like the pretty twink hunk Asian guy you see in the trailers. And I don't say that as like backhand. Like he's like legitimately just like, wow, that's a pretty man. That's unique.
Oh my!
So she Amazon positions him. Is that
Probably.
What we're getting?
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
They got married as a result. It was part of it. It was a part of a treaty that she negotiated.
Sure, but it has no bearing.
Marriage.
She negotiated.
That's not the kind of thing we should be promoting in the Western world. An arranged marriage for the sake of an alliance. That's medieval. That's feudal. That's like before plantation.
I approve of that. Actually, there's a lot of studies that show those marriages last longer and more investment. Because it's culturally reinforced, so they're not cool with divorce. And
what's the dowry on that? You get like an asteroid
later.
Yeah.
Imagine being in an arranged marriage.
But this is the problem I was talking about, where it's like
and you get Brie Larson.
there is wokeness in this film when you tear it apart, in the sense of like the feminist wet dream fantasy of I have a husband, but he's just like he's in my pocket and I'll visit him when I feel like it, and sure it's arranged, but it's like there's that element. There's the element of like, well, I can have this kind of mother element to me with no sacrifice. I don't have to like at worst be like egalitarian in a relationship with the husband. Whatever, there's things like that where you deconstruct it. It ultimately is wokeness in a thought, and it's not surface level. Race swap, gender swap. It's like there's intrinsic wokeness, you'd say, but it's not surface level geeks and gamers content. It's like you have to actually sit out and think about it.
But I'm sure we can all agree, ladies and gentlemen, that the Marvels is probably one of the biggest financial failures for. It's not Disney Marvel anymore. It's officially Disney Worldwide Publishing. The only thing Marvel about Marvel is that fucking banner that says Marvel. Everything else is Disney World Publishing. So.
Oh, that was a funny thing too. Oh, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying the opening credit, like it says this like kind of doomy music at first, and you get the Marvel credits and all the like cool solo character artwork, and then it splices into like the film imagery of characters, and it ends with like Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel and Tiana from I think the Scarlet Witch show, and it's like of course, and then it like builds. It's just like, oh, come on. No one really comes here like, woohoo, these people. Maybe Captain Marvel power level wise, But the other two, it's like these are in shows no one fucking watched.
That I think was the biggest failure of the movie, is the fact that it requires you to do too much homework, which of course I did all the homework. So I was constantly throughout the movie going, oh yeah, that's because this happened, remember, in WandaVision? And then to my husband, oh, you know that Secret Invasion thing you didn't watch? This is why that happened. And, oh, by the way, that Miss Marvel you didn't watch? This is why that happened. But I think that Disney really, really messed up by three areas with this movie. They should have released it on Disney Plus, because they knew it wasn't going to make a lot of money. So my only excuse for that is perhaps Brie Larson had a back end deal similar to Scarlett Johansson, and they didn't want another lawsuit. The other reason why they should have released it to Disney Plus is because of all the homework involved, where you had to understand the situation with the leftover scrolls in the very first world that they went to. You needed to understand Secret Invasion and who it is that was, getting annihilated. And then I think they should have, I understand that that Carol Danvers was married to the prince of that particular second world that they went to go destroy, is that they should have had Kamala Khan be the first Disney princess. The first Marvel princess, because they called her Princess Carol, as she's Princess Captain America, where I think they could have made a lot more money merchandising wise off having the young girl as a princess, because Ms. Marvel was watched by a lot of preteen girls, and they could have had a Barbie-esque event had they done the marketing a little bit better, and then, like I said, release this on Disney Plus, because they've got a bunch of toys that are centered around Princess Carol from Captain Marvel. So, there was opportunity there that they kind of dropped, which I think is
well, that's another thing I talked about, was like the sex appeal. The first and foremost, women in comics are for boys and men especially now, because it's adult men that did use comics before that are the real purchasing. Kids don't care. They got video games, they got phones, they
Correct.
they don't care about comic books. Comic books are something when you didn't have movies to legitimately carry out these crazy events, so you relied on comics because it's the only way you could do it, just like novels before that. So you got an uphill battle with the market base, but women, I would say even young underage women in comics are sex appeal. They're vamps, they're succubus, they're cheesecake, and the underage characters jailbait. Case in point, Supergirl in like the 2000s, because she's supposed to be like 16 because she was frozen or whatever, and they have Michael Turner drawing her, he's total like pin-up, sexy, sleek women, but she's underage by our standards, and so it's like confusing if like I'm supposed to like this or not, but it's like, just go with it. They had balls, just do it.
Extreme American standards, Black Agnes. It's good.
Because like Hit Girl in Kick-Ass is like not even pubescent, and she's still a like jailbait character. They do that in the movie, kind of.
Very decadent. Yeah.
Well, they did that in the Quran with Aisha. So.
But
it's funny you mention that. According to their customs, it's better for them to be young than for them to be, not a virgin, which is kind of weird, given their customs. But that's why they made the change.
The reason is like, with Kamala, you could have, because you could definitely interpret her fangirling as like a lesbian wish. And that's confusing with her being a Muslim character and muting any sex appeal and having her suit be covering wrist to ankle, because she's a Muslim character, and the preteen girls like the show, whatever, they had appeal. Probably, I'm assuming there's like probably relationship questions in that show. She's in high school or whatever. She probably got like crushes on boys or something. Is that a thing in the show, Bajin?
Actually, she does have a crush on one of the characters, but her best friend is male, so it is kind of interesting. They did show like both sides of a young teenage male and female relationships, where she's the person she's best friends with, and then there's also her kind of quote unquote love interest, for as much
Yeah,
as someone
pretty sure that's
doesn't bother
Haram.
to date.
Well, like it's just reality, especially in America, young love in high school. So you don't have that. You don't have any love interest for Brie, even though she's got a husband. There's no romance there. It's just diplomat.
No.
Tiana Paris has nothing. She's just sulking about being a
It's
10-year-old.
because they keep running
Auntie
away,
Carol.
Black Angus.
Well, sure, but it's like they're. It was funny. At one point, they're trying to, because they showed Marie's trying to use some scroll thing on her head to regain her memories that have been wiped by the Kree, and then they all use it to try to figure out some plot element, and then they're thinking of different bad juju and whatnot, like her mom. I guess last time Bree's hanging out with Photon's mom before she died, and while she was blipped, and.
This seems all very the Marvels to me seems very convoluted. You need to know a lot about the multiverse saga in order to understand this film. No wonder from a cinematic perspective it is bombing at the box office. And I personally think, ladies and gentlemen, that Five Nights at Freddy's will make more money just in pure sales than the Marvels will. Five Nights at Freddy's is currently at just over rather $225 million US dollars from a $20 million budget. And I personally think that the Marvels will not pass $200 million, even though it has an official budget, a gross budget of $270 million. But they did have a $50 million grant, I believe, from the British government because part of the film was filmed in the United Kingdom, as far as I'm aware.
Well, if FNAF has a big fan base, a cult fan base, has for the last 10 years. When I was 10 years ago, I remember my kid, and his friends playing Five Nights at Freddy's. That's all they wanted to do. So that has a big cult following. There's a lot of excitement. It has an energized base.
Kids probably got all into the lore too, right?
Oh, yeah.
My kids know all sorts of shit that it doesn't ever really get mentioned in the game, but they're in those theories and the lore.
Right, like how many YouTube channels?
Demographic,
Oh no, but how many YouTube channels have been grown from Five Nights at Freddy alone, talking about the different animatronics and how they got there, whatever they're possessed by. Like, oh yeah, you're right, all the stories that go with it.
You ever heard of a guy named Markiplier? I'm pretty sure that's what made his channel.
Yeah, and so and I think that just shows that when you have a very strong following of fans, that word of mouth takes off. And where you've got Captain Marvel, like who really cares about Carol Danvers' version of Captain Marvel? Especially with all the stink that happened years ago, with the statements that she made. Like, I don't, it just doesn't have that energized fan base that Five Nights at Freddy has. And it's a shame to see a Marvel production be overshadowed like that.
Well, unfortunately, Stephen, it's not a Marvel production. It's not even a Disney Marvel production. Officially, it's a Disney Worldwide Publishing production. They made this change this year in 2023. The days of Disney Marvel are over. As I said before, the only thing Marvel about Marvel is that damn logo that they have. But in my view, Five Nights of Freddy's it's a much newer story. It's fresh. It's vibrant. It hasn't been around for very long compared with, say, the whole character of Captain Marvel.
It's never gone woke.
You can make that statement. Of course, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's is far from that. But hopefully, that film, Five Nights at Freddy's, can span a franchise that becomes very successful. Just do what was it called? Friday the 13th did. Just make the same film over and over and over again.
Sometimes that works.
Sometimes.
Real quick,
horror's got such a low bar, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think horror is the future.
I want to say thank you to hail to Tim Hayes. What's up, dude? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all the support that you've given me over the last year, man. It means a lot to me. I appreciate that. What's up, Carlo? Good to see you in the chat. You're here because you clicked the link. Mads Mom Bear's out there. Hail to Keely Chow. Always out there supporting everybody. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Greatly appreciate you. Love you guys. You can smash that like button or dislike button. That helps the algorithm too. And share out the link. Greatly appreciate that. What are we looking at? What are we looking at here, Miss Bojan? Miss swinging from the ceiling. Amazing orgasm, Bojan. Sorry.
Steel fucking
Female
dildos.
Steel dildos, right? Like, what kind of power tools are in your house? I'm sorry.
She's got it hooked up to a flux capacitor, so it gets the 1.21 gigawatts of energy it needs.
No, she's got the fucking dryer motor fucking hooked up to it.
Stephen, this is why you're no good with women. This is what you do when you speak to a woman. Female, report, situation.
Okay. There are two corrections to that. One, I said titanium, not steel. And number two,
pardon me.
when it really does the job, you have to plug into a wall. We're not even, it goes past the batteries.
Can't use steel because it'll rust. Please continue.
Steel doesn't rust.
Exactly. But
stainless steel doesn't rust, Black Angus. Regular steel does.
Ah, okay.
It oxidizes. It doesn't. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Female, report.
Just brought up the article since we were talking about performance in terms of Marvels against Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, exactly. There was an orgasm scene in the Marvels, not intentionally, but toward the end of the movie, Photon puts on quite a powered up performance.
Oh, that's kind of hot.
Like she is, yeah. She is in utter bliss, getting super powered in order to do something. So, but just wanted to bring up as far as the comparison, it brought in like 21.5 million on Friday, and that includes the 6.4 million from Thursday night preview. So they don't think they're going to get over 50 million for the entire weekend, which is kind of sad. And I'm glad to see the cinema score come in at a B. And the only reason why is because I think the Marvels was on par with Doctor Strange and Quantumania, and it was better than Love and Thunder and Eternals. My opinion.
Well,
that's an interesting spectrum to place it in.
I just like to state, though, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm aware, Five Nights at Freddy's made $40 million in its first day of release. It made double its budget on day one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good release.
Yeah, and the numbers I heard for the Marvels were a $280 million budget with a $60 million grant from the UK.
Well, good to know my sources aren't too far off.
Oh, absolutely not. And it might just be exchange rate because you might be doing it in pounds where I'm doing it in dollars.
Yes.
Makes me like a dodgeball when he's like, well, 50,000 American translates to like 70,000 Canadian. He's like, where are we going to get $120,000?
Did you just call me Canadian, Black Angus? I resent that comment. I'm British.
So. But that was pretty much on the Marvels. I think that it was not as bad as I thought it was, but because I did the homework, I already knew who the characters were. And Iman Vellani is the young lady that plays Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, and both in her performances as well as this cute little teenager who was auditioning for the part, she is just this ball of sweetness and light, and she is such a huge Marvel fan.
She needs a film
as an actress. Absolutely.
Make her the front and center. This likable young woman who plays a likable character, who isn't a venomous bitch yet, who hasn't been corrupted yet by Brie Larson and her ilk, and create a positive film within this multiverse saga. She can be like the chief recruiter of the new Avengers, who all happen to be black and
she
female.
does that.
Well, I was going to say, spoiler warning, sorry to say, but that is one of the credit scenes. Is
good. You don't have to give spoilers. Who the fuck would pay to watch the Marvels?
Hey.
Well, there was at least two on.
I actually used my last free ticket from Cinemark to get into the Marvels. So
one paid money to get in.
You could have used that to watch Five Nights at Freddy's. Black
I don't
Anna.
care about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Don't you
I'm
want to
not
be
a
scared?
child.
Don't you
Why
want
the
to be
hell go?
scared?
Why go to the movie theater? I can watch Five Nights at Freddy's on the damn streaming service at home.
Yeah, that's the
No,
other
I
thing
love
that
going to the
makes
movies.
those box office numbers pretty impressive is that Five Nights at Freddy's simultaneously came to home streaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people who
Good
went to
point.
see that in theaters, they wanted to go see it in theaters anyway.
Well, the thing is, Freddy got fingered. So
By five. By
all
five
right,
fingers.
yeah.
I don't understand that.
That was
reference.
such a
I'm
great
24.
joke that nobody got it. All
Well,
right.
I knew the
Roger's
reference,
my
but I've never
puppet.
watched Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, I'd call it a reference. I don't know if I'd call it a joke.
Tina, do you think that because you watched all the other content that you needed, I guess, in order to see all the connections in the film, did that add to the experience? Did it help? Like, if you know that, does it help?
Absolutely, because other than that, Mr. Bojan's perspective was, while this was super disjointed, because we moved from here, we moved there, and they pretend we know these people and we don't. And they did attempt to introduce the characters like, Photon, and who's not going by Photon yet, and Ms. Marvel, and even to harken back a little bit to the first Captain Marvel movie, as well as the whole Skrull situation with Secret Invasion. So, and he didn't watch any of those. So he was
I
not
don't blame
able
him.
to. He's been pretty lockstep with me throughout most of the Disney Plus series. So I think it was just Secret Invasion, because he did watch WandaVision. Because that was the first one.
Poor
So
fellow.
Secret Invasion and Miss Marvels. Actually, he has been enjoying them for the most part.
Oh,
Ryan, I don't know.
You.
I don't know if he's a poor fellow. He loves the after date activities.
So that's his reward.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and I'll
So
say this: I actually dug WandaVision. Loki season 1, like halfway through the ass end of it, that's where I fell off with Marvel TV. I thought WandaVision was a decent show.
No, Loki's awesome. WandaVision sucks.
Does anyone remember Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Hawkeye?
I forget that exists all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
I would have loved to have
TV
seen the originals. I would have loved to have seen the original plot line for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because they had to change everything because of the Wuhan flus.
Well, the biggest problem I've found with film franchises that move into television is that television, or streaming, which is a kind of amalgamation of film and TV, it's a new medium, yet they're treating it like the old medium. So it's never going to be well done, and it's never going to be rare in terms of quality. So they're entering a medium that's not their forte, combined with the political correctness, the social justice, the identity politics, the 3 core tenets of woke ideology. No wonder everything's going down the tubes.
Well, Ryan, like, what do you think they should be doing with it? Like, how should they present those services?
Look at what they did with the Infinity Saga. It was almost entirely or completely film-based. Now, for the Multiverse Saga, which started with Black Widow doing a film about a dead woman, multiverse, and then that, in my view, should have been. I know Disney Plus can make bank, and everyone wants to be the next Netflix, but do what you know works. Films. They don't have to make fucking sense, like the Marvels, but I don't want to watch fucking 10 TV shows on a streaming platform that's exclusive to you that I have to pay money for on a monthly basis. I'm using a Californian inflection to understand a fucking film.
But look at these eyes. How could you not watch 6
He's
episodes?
stuck. Spoiler warning. He's stuck in a fucking tree for eternity. What an ending to a 10-year career.
Well, yeah, his face is still like reverberating from the punch,
How do you go from being the main baddie of phase 1 of the MCU, in the first Avengers film, to being
a
stuck
great
in a
one
fucking
too.
tree with a
He's like
slave
a-
collar on you.
He's a
No, no, no. He's
replicant or
like,
something, though, right?
well, he is a variant. However, this particular variant, he has become Loki, god of stories. He is the most powerful variant of Loki at this point.
And he's fucking depressed. Look at him.
Because he
That is
gave the
not
ultimate
a happy. That's not a happy
because-
pagan.
No,
because
it's like orange is
everything
black.
else lost his bag.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I mean, he gave the ultimate sacrifice. He gave up all of his friends and everyone he loved so that
Thor
he
got
could take on
fat.
this role. What? Sorry.
Thor got fat, then he got thin again, only to be publicly exposed in a gladiatorial arena. That's humiliating. But to go from one universe to another, this multi-dimensional nonsense, and then to end up with a prison collar on you for a bit, going about, being the next sort of Doctor Who, and then having this woman version of you take over, and then to end up being locked in a tree for all eternity, that doesn't sound like a happy ending for the god of mischief himself.
Thanks for the spoiler. I haven't watched it yet.
I know. I'm sorry.
Appreciate that.
Well, and it's also one of these things like modern Marvel TV is different than how it's ever been presented. Has anybody seen the Incredible Hulk TV show from the 70s and 80s? You know,
One of my favorites.
so let's describe the contrast. That was something that was very close to the source material. Now, was it cheesy? At times, but like it inspired things like the Edward Norton Hulk movie, you know, which I thought was leagues better than most of the other things that we've been handed. So there's a definite Disneyfication of the media that we're being presented, especially when it comes to TV and TV shows. And it's not even TV anymore. It's like
it's streaming.
It's direct
an
to our
amalgamation of film and television.
correct.
Like the worst of both, not the best of both. Not the you'd assume with a big budget plus a TV format of lots of episodes, you'd have the quality of film and the long run of television. But no, you get the exact opposite. You get these beautiful looking nightmares like Rings of Power for Amazon or all the Disney Plus shows, not all of them, but most of them. They have these massive budgets, these big stars at the helm, and it's just bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb, financially speaking. Because these shows on these platforms are meant to get, you know, subscribers. They're basically acting like content creators creating content, but they're not content creators. They're multi-billion-dollar corporations acting like content creators. I can make like 100 shitty videos and still gain the support of people, keep on going, keep on growing, because I'm not financially based, I'm reality based. But for these megacorps to just create this schlop, and they all bomb with very few exceptions, it just goes to show they've had their time, to use a Matrix quote, like the dinosaur.
Right.
Well,
Ryan,
it's coming for them.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Ryan, that is incredibly fandom menace what you just said. Go ahead, Coyle.
Well, so to the point, and I heard this off of Star Wars Theory. Hell, that guy. You got a show like Kenobi, which should be to the fan base something that's like sacred and looked forward to and planned in advance and blah blah blah. Kenobi received half of the budget that She-Hulk did. Now, She-Hulk got like $250 million US to twerk with Lizzo, you know, and you know,
I wish it were Lizzo. The whole building would have fallen down.
I know, right? But meanwhile, Kenobi is like sitting there like in the hole, like Darth Vader's like burying him in rocks, and he's thinking about Leia. No, you should be on Tatooine taking care of Luke, you know, for half the budget.
Taking on Tusken Raiders.
This is the thing. Okay, if Disney Star Wars wasn't Disney Star Wars, I think that Kenobi would have worked. I honestly do. I think that a side story like that could have
been brilliant.
Yeah, could have. So, but what I wanted to ask Slender something, his opinion as a writer. If they had begun if they had begun with the streaming service and the early MCU, and in a way that you could have had different series that built up to Civil War and given us a real Civil War, like from the comics, because you had all these different stories being told, and then the movies were the payoff. Like, do you think that could have worked?
Here's my thing, because I kind of agree with your assertion. I think individual superheroes should get a show. That show should build up over the course of a couple seasons and then culminate in a movie. When you bring a couple heroes together, that should be a movie too. But like the Loki thing, right? I didn't think the show was great. I thought season 2 didn't even really need to be a series so much as it was just a bunch of disjointed stories that didn't really need to go in the sequence of a show. But that last episode of Loki, that should have been a freaking movie.
Absolutely agree. I'm going to interrupt you for just a second, Sunder, just so we can let Ryan give his little goodbye, because he's off to another stream.
Yes. Thank you all very much for having me on. Always a pleasure to talk to all of you fine folks. Good to meet Immortal Coil for the first time. Hopefully it's the first of many interactions. Yes, I will be on the Hypno Show, Saturday Night Hypnosis, in about 5 minutes. So I'd like to have a good hour on this fine show before I go over there. We started a bit late, but it was great to be here. You can check me out at Ryan Roger Athe. I'm the host and founder of Reality Based. And stay here, though, because we need all the viewers we can get for the great author Stephen Walton.
Thanks, Ryan.
Who thinks that I inspire the spirit of the fandom menace within my veins, despite the fact that I was legally a teenager when the fandom menace was firing on all cylinders. I'm 24 now. But,
see you later, Ryan.
Time. Bye for now, folks.
Bye, brother.
All right.
So, but yeah, the last episode of Loki was really great, and I don't want to spoil it anymore for you, except one thing, Stephen. Take a look at this gorgeous image of the tree of life.
Wow!
I mean, this is beautiful.
Oh.
And it was.
Walton's having an orgasm over a tree.
Oh God, that looks good. Shut up! God damn it, Deej. No,
Walton,
that looks
you're
so
not
good.
supposed to stick your dick in the tree of life.
I'm not gonna put my dick in. I just want to rub against it.
And Priscilla doesn't want none of what you're putting down right now.
So I think you will very much enjoy this final episode.
Yeah, wait, really quick.
There he is.
Y'all were having a conversation. I could barely make it because y'all were all like crackly, so it was on my side for some reason. I don't get why people don't like this direction with Loki. From what I gather, there's this like idea of like, well, he's phase 1 and we understand him, and now he's all sad and blah blah blah. Here's my perspective from season 1. I've only watched one episode of season 2 so far, but I love the show. Whatever inconsistencies it's got, whatever. The show offers this idea, in my opinion, of the age-old religious idea. That's why comics are cool. Of predestination or free will, and digging into Catholicism and its predecessor Judaism, both actually have this kind of paradoxical. They're aware it's a paradox. Understanding of God and His infinite power. Ultimately, everything's predestined, but you have free will. It's a paradox that they accept and try to reason out best they can and accept it. And this is what I'm taking away from the show, like why it's so profound. Is like, here's a guy gets to 2012, his variant doesn't experience everything after that we've seen, and he sees what he's affected, including getting his mom killed. And so thinking about like, all right, I am out to conquer Midgard and all the 9 realms and wherever else I can go, my glorious purpose. And then you see you are actually a foil destined to fail. You are destined to be Sisyphus by some being that deemed you to have this fate, to be a Judas, to instigate greatness in others, but you're destined to fail. And like being aware of that. And then also such a narcissistic character, who does he fall in love with? A version of himself. And he's chasing after
Yes.
her. That's so profound and interesting. And Tom Hiddleston does so amazing with this role. It's very like it's a fun one-dimensional mustache twiddling villain, and now he's like at this profound level. I've seen the picture; it's famous right now of Loki, where his state at the end of the show sounds pretty cool. I hope we get more Tom Hiddleston, but I'm looking forward to finishing season 2. I don't get the hatred.
I gotta push back a little.
Yeah. No, I'm wanting to hear like what is it.
I agree with everything you said, if not for the fact that I was 100% satisfied with the conclusion of Loki's redemption arc in the movies. We didn't need him back. That's the only issue I take with the entire series.
I can see that, but this is the nature of comics. Like if you read the
if you die, you're gonna come back.
And that's why I'm kind of okay with it to a certain degree. And I really did. I did think the finale was pretty freaking cool. So,
well, actually, something I wanted to ask earlier is we talking about the nature of comics. When it comes to Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, do you think she's too overpowered? Kind of like the argument people give for Superman. It's just too overpowered to be interesting.
Yeah, for run-of-the-mill comic stories, she's just too much. She really just flew through a sun and turns it on. It's like, well, no problem. And it's like we've seen Thor up to the Infinity War is like the ultimate power in the Avengers roster. You could argue with the comics, Scarlet Witch should be our kind of Phoenix for our roster, but she hasn't made it to that point.
Right.
Apparently she's dead in the timeline. I don't know. But
well, and we also have to take into account things like Brie Larson's public presentation, and it turns into that sort of a Snow White thing that's been going on. She actually got fired, Rachel Zegler, for being just obnoxious. So how much of our perception of these superheroes on the silver screen are being driven by their representatives as the actors or actresses?
Yeah, I never heard anyone talk about like Marlon Brando in conjunction with his like Indian thing he did at the Oscars affecting
right.
I'm not watching Godfather because Marlon Brando did that thing at the Oscars. Fuck him, he's woke.
Well, yeah, but we didn't give a shit when he was Jor-El in 1978, right?
No, right, and I understand that, but there's there's woke actors out there like the TNG crew, right? TNG cast. But before like social media became so much of a big thing, like you didn't really hear much from them. You saw them in the movies. You saw them as you were able to enjoy the actor as the character they were portraying in whatever series they were. And then you get up to Picard season 3, where we finally get some kind of Star Trek that feels like Roddenberry, post-Roddenberry era Star Trek.
Garbage.
And I understand, Deeds. I know, but for people like me, I enjoyed watching that series. I was able to forget the things that Franks has said.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was able to enjoy it, and that's because there was already a built-up endearment for these actors and as far as the characters that they play, instead of them being a spokesperson for socio-political rhetoric. That's the difference, I think, in older, like the older generations. You bring up Marlon Brando and what he did. Well, that was like one snippet amongst a slew of great performances. Now we have just all-out diatribes on the internet and accusations and pointing fingers. And then in between those, we see them in a film. And it just leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, I think that's like the Brie Larson effect.
Well, I would counter that a bit because we see Pedro Pascal. He's clearly not a friend to anyone on the right, anyone willing to vote for Trump, anything in that spectrum.
Nazis.
But Last of Us did amazing. Mando, besides this last season, I would say the problem with Mando season 3, as far as reception, is just like, all right, you've really lost the flow of this. It's not Pedro Pascal and his wokeness affecting this. This is Disney as a like competitor with Ron DeSantis, maybe, and just the failings of the show's writing. But
And I think Pedro's an exception because he is a good actor. You know, I will
that's what I
say
was going to
that.
say is like, if you're good, if you're doing a good role, Mark Hamill, another good example. If you're doing good in your role, you can be crazy as hell with your stupid Hollywood rhetoric. It's like Brie Larson does this.
Right.
Got an Oscar off of a performance that's really, I don't think she deserved the Oscar because the movie wasn't really her focus. It was the kid for most of it. So it's just irritating. But she coasts this success into a big deal with Marvel. Gets the Superman level woman thing that is angled as a feminist hero, etc., and sandwiched in between two important films. And then we see like what her stakes really are and how uninteresting she is as a character. Now we're seeing the follow through. So I wouldn't say this is necessarily like a haha, she's woke, she says crap, the next one fails. It's like, no, people saw what Captain Marvel is, and then Miss Marvel, if they watch it, like,
Right.
what is this team?
Are you
This
talking
is
about like
stupid.
so you'd be like the normies is what you talk is who you're talking about.
Yeah, you gotta win normies. Spider-Man made $1 billion something, what, $2 billion? Because Spider-Man, people want to be Spider-Man. Right. Cool power. He's limited in his power, so he's not overblown. Doesn't matter who's in the mask, really. Spider-Man. Oh, I actually know that one from 2000. Well, cool. That makes it even better. You know, he's an American icon, like peanut butter and jelly. So I think that's a big factor in the failings of the Marvels and the argument of like, does an actor's rhetoric affect a film?
Well, then let me present the opposite perspective, where we have people like Kevin Sorbo, who was Hercules, and we have people like Dean Cain, who was Superman. Online, they're very much conservative. They're conservative voices. They represent traditional values, and their work is impeccable. You know, everybody more or less loves the performance that they gave, but we don't see them held as much with their feet to the coals of the fire as we do, you know, the hot topic people like Rachel Ziegler or, you know, Brie Larson. So what's up with that?
It's interesting, but I think that's because like they've already like ostracized themselves. They maintain celebrity off of the older generation that liked them. Should I'm about like what 30-year-old products now that they did, and
it was back in the 90s for sure.
Yeah, so like 30-year-old products, and they seemingly are set. Maybe they'll come and do something if they're offered, but they're kind of, it seems they're set enough they can coast in life.
So they're like Ted Nugent, is what you're saying.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. And so they've already ostracized themselves. They've kind of Gina Carano themselves. They're just like, well, I'll stay in this little niche, and you know, I'll have maybe more. If there's monetary investment, it's more direct bucks in a smaller pond. You know, that's how I see it. Where it's like, you pick your poison. You know, it's like, if you want to be in Hollywood, you got to walk the line and just shut up if you're not saying the stuff. And it's like, this, it's always been this way. The pendulum just swung. It used to be McCarthyism. You couldn't be communist, leftist to any degree.
Right.
And so this is just falling back, and at some point it'll swing back. It's always but it's always going to be leftist centered, focused, because creative people usually are left leaning.
You know, I've talked a lot with DJ Odyssey. He thinks in kind of in terms that you do, Angus, when you look at the story. And Deej, over the years, do you still look at just the story? I know you're going, about season 3 Picard, but do you take their politics or what they're saying or what they've done into, and like, do you factor that into when you're reviewing a show, or how much are you?
I separate the politics. I separate their lunacy and crap. I look at stories. And when it came to Picard season 3, all that was member berry after member berry thrown around a story that didn't make sense.
It did make sense, and I
No,
loved that story.
It did
It
not
did.
make sense. They forgot half of what they did during season 1 and 2, threw it out the window, tossed it out, and then
necessarily
they tried to coalesce this new story around.
Yes, but the point for doing that is people didn't like Picard season 1 and 2, and the writer understood that and did as much as he could to mitigate that damage, and that's why they kind of acted like it didn't matter.
Season 3 was good. It was fun. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you, Slender.
No, it was garbage. Flying a big fat D into a cube. Come on, that was
the fat D. No, it wasn't. That was the dude. We got to see the big fat D again. Come on, man. Who doesn't love the big fat D?
I don't want a big fat D shoved into me.
I said, not into you. We're not. Don't take it like that. You was giving.
I always hated the D anyway. I thought that was the most ugliest ship ever.
Really?
Dude, you are. Nah, that was sleek. What's your preferred? What's your preferred design? Do you like the A, the B, the nothing?
Any Starfleet ship.
A is my number 1 Enterprise.
Yeah.
NX is my second favorite.
Okay, Boomer.
Oh, the NX-01. Yeah, baby. That's a nice ship. I like the NX-01. Dude, Slender called him a boomer. All right, what's your favorite ship? Doesn't even have to be an Enterprise. Any Federation ship. What's your favorite, Slender?
I'm not really a Star Trek fan, so I don't have a favorite. I like Star Wars.
You're fired.
Hell yeah.
Boot him. Get him off the fucking panel.
Propaganda of Star Trek.
If I was to go out of Star Trek alone, then I would have to say my favorite ship is a White Star from Babylon 5.
All right, now you're going with the whole DS9 stole the Bible. Is that where you're going with that?
Well, they did.
I know they did. Of course they did. And anybody that tries to deny that, they absolutely did. But and frankly, Benjamin Lafayette Sisko is my favorite captain, and it's not because he's black. I just really like that character. I like the whole father and son dynamic. I liked that series, and honestly, part of it was because there were story points taken from B5, and I love B5. Such a great story.
Well, there were common show writers involved. Brandon Braga, yeah.
54.5 says Deej prefers a slim D.
Thanks, 54. Thanks.
All right, the whole panel got quiet. All right, the Trekkies. Oh, thank you, Papa. No, Trek isn't anal retentive. Trek is fun. Trek is fun, Papa.
Trek could be a lot more fun if everybody wasn't complaining about the D.
No, D was a fun ship, okay?
The Enterprise D was like the fucking immaculate peak of design, and it was designed to be a ship of peace. It was not designed to be a warship.
You know what? I love when they went to that alternate, I forget what the name of the episode was, when they went to that, and it was a troop transport. That ship would have been designed like that.
D? It simultaneously looked like an interstellar spaceship and a fancy McDonald's.
The D was a hotel in space.
So it's the McD? Is that what you're saying?
Mickey Enterprise D.
NCC 701 McD.
Hey, Chloe, you want to see us piss everybody off?
Go ahead.
So you told me last time we did a stream last week on Savage Spirituality that you liked Ahsoka.
What?
I did up to a certain point, but it's because
me too.
Listen, if you watched all of the Clone Wars and you watched all of Rebels and you watched Ahsoka, you can see the logical progression there.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. The final scene with sadly passed away, and he's standing on the fucking mountain range looking at the same fire spike as Anakin did on the Mortis arc. Now, if you're a casual viewer and you don't know like anybody from anyone else, I can understand why you'd be pissed off. It's kind of like if you picked up one of the EU books without having seen anything, and you're just kind of thrust into a situation and you're just like, well, yeah, I guess this is okay. It's like okay fiction, it's fantastic, but like, how does this impact me? If you're somebody who has followed these people, and it's also one of those things. It's not
I
because
followed them too, and here's the problem: going into a live action from the animated series, every character felt watered down and subdued, and maybe that's what you need to do to make them more believable when they're live action. But if that's the case, they never should have made a fucking live action out of it in the first place.
Or is it just the first?
Boring.
Or is it just the first fucking season of something that's gonna pop out in the next?
Oh,
the thing that
you just gotta watch the first 4 seasons and then it gets good.
The thing that I think is that, all right, listen, Ahsoka and Sabine, they're stuck in Galaxy B. Let's call it that, and they're training and they're doing their thing. Meanwhile, Thrawn is thrust back into the main galaxy. Now, who's there to answer Thrawn's threat? His name begins with a Sky and ends with a Walker. That's what I'm thinking.
Jar Jar.
You really think they're gonna go that direction with it? Huh?
I
It sounds right.
I would
That
bet
does sound
money,
right.
dude. I would bet money.
I mean, and I will bet right back that if Kathleen Kennedy has anything to say about it, that will not happen.
Well, she's fucking Eric
Yeah.
Cartman now, dude. Like, nobody fucking cares what she thinks.
Will they put another chick in it and make it gay and lame? Do you think?
Yeah.
Sorry, too many. Dude, they got the same problems as the Marvels. There's too many fucking chicks in this show.
And as we know, they can't be trusted in space. So,
Well, they got to ride in some fucking giant whale dick, That's the thing. The thing that I'm
yes.
saying is that
Oh God, Tina, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish, Quill. Then we're going to talk about my princess.
no, and this is the final thought. The thing is that it's Dave Filoni has shown through his own fucking work that it takes multiple seasons to develop an idea. Go ahead.
Sure.
I
it's
agree.
just not good.
I say. Now, okay, guys. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the hottest chick in Hollywood, Daisy Ridley. All right, please continue, Tina.
Well, I guess the lovely Screen Rant did an article on why poor Daisy Ridley's career has not taken off since Star Wars. So they're saying that Daisy Ridley is officially returning to Star Wars universe as Rey, but the decision isn't particularly surprising based on the movies she's made outside the franchise. Ridley made her debut appearance as Rey, The Force Awakens, and transformed the character into a lovable protagonist. She became an undeniable highlight of the sequel trilogy and succeeded in earning roles in other movies. But then later on in the article, they talk about all the other movies that she was in that failed miserably.
Okay, real quick, I just want to say, if they had gone with the Darth Ray storyline, that would have been so perfect. And I would have watched that movie over and over again. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
It says audience really don't have to look far to see that Daisy Ridley's projects in recent years haven't been received positively. The actress's first blockbuster after Star Wars success was Chaos Walking alongside Tom Holland, which easily should have been a success given the star power attached to the project. But the script ultimately let it down and left the story muddled and forgettable. Not to mention the movie was released during the pandemic and consequently failed to draw more than 13.2 million in the United States. And then they talk about the fact that she was in Peter Rabbit 2 and The Marsh King's Daughter. Neither of those movies that I saw, that they basically said that they didn't make a whole lot of money. So they're expecting this newest run as Ms. Skywalker will help revitalize her career.
God, I hope so. This is the only thing I'm excited for about Disney Star Wars, to be honest. This is it. I want to see Rey again. She was her talent coordinator, whoever it was, they failed her. And I feel about her like Papa Cotton feels about Brie Larson. I think y'all are just haters if you don't like her, and she's hot. All right. Thank you.
We only have to wait for 2.5 more years in order to see her in Star Wars: The New Jedi Order. Comes out summer of 2026.
I forgive Kathleen Kennedy if we get this. If we get this, Tina, I forgive Kathleen Kennedy because I want to see this.
It'll be interesting to see like how they position if this is coming out in the summer of 2026 when King Dynasty, the Avengers movie, is going to come out because they're both supposed to be out in 2026.
You remember when it was a big thing that we're putting the Marvels, not the Marvels, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Star Wars? You know, remember when they handed the picture where they handed the saber over to Iron Man? Remember that? God, think the nightmare that followed after. You know, I mean, because all leading up until Endgame, for the most part, not all, definitely not all, but for the most part, the MCU did it right. You know, whereas like the DC Cinematic Universe just fell apart and failed because they tried too hard, and where Star Wars just kept, you know, the story group kept on attacking fans and just you know, making a mockery of the universe. Like the MCU did it right.
Yeah, well, they're trying to apply the Disney formula, and I don't think Disney's ever figured out the formula for Star Wars or Marvel.
Well, they've been using the Pander Stone, Slender, and that's where they went wrong.
The Pander Stone must be destroyed.
No, there wasn't enough chicks in it, and they weren't gay enough.
Put another chick in it. Make her gay and lame.
Deej, do you think it's been pandering enough, or should we get more pandering in this universe? Do you think Star Wars has a future?
No.
That's it. No explanation. Just no.
Simple answer.
Simple answer. I've grown sick of it. I'm tired of it. And Rey is not a Skywalker. She's a fucking Palpatine.
Yeah.
Rey is a Palpatine.
It me that you like Rey so much.
It's not Rey. It's Disney. I mean, I'm not Disney. I'm sorry. It's not Rey. It's Daisy. Daisy Ridley. All right. She's hot.
Okay.
All right.
Well, okay.
She's
objectively,
listen. She has more curves than Tay-Tay. All right.
Listen, I think Daisy she lands on a 5, dude. She's like plain. Yes. She is okay. She's not like
Tops, I'd give her a 7 because she has a little bit of that girl next door quality, but that's about it.
I think that's too. I think you're giving her too much merit, dude. She looks plain to me.
I go along with Immortal 5 tops, and that's with makeup. If she had makeup off, it's less.
I don't know. I think she would surprise you and talk down to you in the right way. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would not allow her to talk down to me. What are you talking about? She's a 5.
I question your taste, Coyle.
All right. We'll fight about that offline.
I'd rather have someone like Kat Denning than
Kat Denning's
Kat Denning.
She's pretty sexy. I would give her a time of day.
And she's definitely got crazy eyes. You know, like she's being tied to the ceiling.
Wow. Yes.
She can get thrown around. Yeah. Everybody goes quiet.
Mama Bear. Yes, Mama Bear. I said more curves than Tay-Tay. All right. I didn't say there was a lot of curves. I just said more than Taylor Swift.
Weren't we reading an article or something? What happened?
I got an erection.
I was just giving him a picture of Daisy Ridley. That's really more than the article itself was just announcing the Star Wars New Jedi Order.
Thank you, Tina. And that's why she's a happily married woman. You see, she knows. She understands men. Thank you.
And so
I take care of my boys.
The takeaway here is they haven't canceled that yet, and Kathleen Kennedy is still running with her projects.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It doesn't sound good.
That's not what Doomcock told me.
Of course.
I love you, DC.
As far as I can tell, Doomcock's running theory right now is if I just keep saying she's going to get fired, eventually I'll be right, and then I can lord it over everyone.
Look, the Lord of Evil is trying to make that shit manifest, and I am all behind it. Just keep saying it over.
You know what I want for him to be right? Like every time he's like,
I do
yeah,
too.
like my fucking thunder cracking, like behind the scenes guys, blah. You know, but like, has anything panned out? No.
I don't want to say Mike Zero vibes, but I do want to
No,
say
but
that
I
Mike
think
has not.
somebody is like feeding him some fucking butter and he's just like running with it. Or he knows that his channel will get views if he's like, hey everybody from the center of the earth, I'm digging up some fucking bullshit, so here it goes. You know?
I think it's the views. I think that's exactly what it is.
I mean, it works. You know what? Before I was watching any of the Fandom Menace channels, before they were even Fandom Menace, I was watching Mike Zero and his theory videos on Star Wars theory. You know, leading up to what Force Awakens, or was it TLJ? I think it was TLJ. When I was watching those, they get clicks. You know, Angus, what do you think, buddy? Because you know you piss everybody off. So what's your take
On what exactly?
on you know possible gaslighting your audiences?
Angus, pretend
you know.
like you care for the next 5 minutes. And talk about this.
right.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I remember years ago when I was doing security, I was talking to Rookie about like, okay, there's this like Picard stuff, and then season 2 or whatever, like, you know, you have these people crying about Star Trek, and then they're back for the next thing, and then they continue because it's like this is revenue, you know. But then they're calculating because there's certain things they won't cover, like they didn't cover the fucking that dumb bitch for trying to attack Stephen Wayne art for the Phantom Menace parody art for the 501st. Like, this is a charity, and blah blah blah. They're all coordinating on Facebook to try to target him. And they're so quick to suck off Zack Snyder until he kind of backhands them with the Stop Asian Hate. I'm not Associated Geeks and Gamers, and then everyone has a cry session about it. Everyone pretends they like ISOM. People pretend they like ISOM and they didn't fucking read it. And then they try to like months later be like, oh yeah, here's the shirt. What's your favorite part? Ha ha ha. Yeah, we own the joke. Ha ha. It's like, no, you're ass mad, and now you're just trying to grovel for any shekel you can get because it's a dwindling fan base already 2 years in. There's a lot of frauds, a lot of pandering. Like Friday Night Tights, it was a cool idea when it seemed like, oh, this is like an actual discussion that's fighting the mainstream, being genuine, objective, even if you have like your own bias.
Oh, that was like the High Council Junior.
Yeah, now you got like Bounty Comics making shit about like, oh, there's the sodomy agenda of Last of Us and
Satan.
Yeah, I look at a Last of Us review and they're like, according to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, like, was there a Catholic priest in the plot? Why is Catholicism coming up in my review? What the fuck is this? Like, you are just propagandizing just like the mainstream for your narrative.
In the CNN, the TFM.
Yep. It's this kind of shit, dude, that like this is how you destroy yourself from within, because it's like you're not really about the fans, or it's like just I hate all this shit. I've always hated Doomcock since I sniffed him out with like his fake reporting crap. No one talks about him being gaslit by was it Reddit or 4chan? They planted fake stories for him to cover to catch him, and he did.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's probably why Nerdrotic cut him. Was because he got busted, and this is a great way to edge him out with the Ryan Kinnell thing, without having to address like he's a fraud. My sources. You have no fucking sources, dude. If anyone leaks shit to you, they're fired. Disney, it's all their intel they got. They're going to find you. You see how scared Tom Holland was? Like, hey, I'm so sorry. I put the script in my back, but look, I'm burning it. Here's a live. I'm burning it. I'm sorry, Disney. He's afraid they're going to fucking snipe him. You think people are leaking shit? Maybe now because the cat's out of the bag with like the Marvel stuff and this whole big leak we've had. But no one's had real intel from Disney until just now. And that's through coordinated efforts at the top. They're using their sources at like Hollywood Reporter and whatnot to be like, all right, I don't like where we're going. We can shift course without having to apologize to fans for wokeness.
Ladies and gentlemen, the definition of "we do not kneel," Black fucking Angus, dude. Yeah, well said, man. Well said.
There he is.
Yeah. Yeah, you were going back to like, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to talk too much bad about Bounding because they blocked me. They don't like me anymore.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate them as like a catalog of all these infractions and race loss, whatever. Call them out, but like they have their own agenda. They're not objective. They're trying to do the same thing. It's worse when we do it because we're supposed to be the ones
because we were the ones that were
uphill.
fighting. We were fighting fake news. We were fighting misinformation. We were fighting that slant that's put in the way a story or a news story is presented. Because they were slandering us. They were slandering fans by doing that. And now we have one of the e-magazines, whatever Bounding into Comics that I've supported for years. Now they're doing the very same thing. It's basically just Christian conservative propaganda at this point. That's how I see it.
Pride Month, conflating like libs of TikTok reporting with this is gays are groomers and shit. Like, dude, even if you think that and that's like your religious take, like you got to be calculated because like half of Republicans are in favor of gay marriage. So
yeah,
you got to be slick.
Both of my mothers are married and Republican. Like that they exist. That's the problem when we get to, and it's right. That's one of the biggest gripes that I've had with some of the bigger channels that I've always supported, is that we were fighting against, Trump coined it, but fake news. We were fighting that, and some of us are just taking it upon ourselves to put out propaganda, put out fake news, put out stories, or to trim, information in a way that's slanted in their bias, their perception.
Well, that's true. So as a small channel, I can say that people are incentivized to beef up to the to the big fucking hot topic items. It's very hard to be of yourself and be honest and true to your own principles, but it's easy to be like, okay, let's talk about Brie Larson's ass and just have a whole channel about that.
I mean, I would actually check out that channel.
No, that would be a
you would.
That would be a Papa Cotton channel.
Papa Cotton channel.
Missed opportunity, Papa. Maybe they won't nuke this one. They won't nuke it. Just talk about Brie Larson. Your
it's
love
the
for
nuclear missile.
I know we got to cut out soon. Sporking News Podcast, The Dump, is going to be on air here shortly. So before we go, I just want to give everybody a chance to let you know where you can find them. We'll start off with Slender Dad of one half of the Ascendant Art Podcast.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. One half of the Ascendant Art Podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern on Friday nights. We do a lot like this show. It's kind of just an open forum. We bring some guests in. Sometimes we don't bring guests in. It just depends on if we have any guests that week. And we just talk about whatever, mostly focused around gaming, entertainment, TV, movies, comics, etc.
All right, thank you very much. And next up is the man with two assholes harvesting soy, DJ Odyssey.
No, I am done harvesting. We did the last field yesterday, and it was corn, damn it. It was corn. And that would probably not be good either because he'll make some cornholio joke or some shit.
I mean, you've got two cornholes to corn. So.
No, that one's sealed back up.
Yeah, we don't believe you.
I'll show you after the stream.
No, you know what? I believe you. Anyway, where can they find you, Deej?
Anyway, you can find me over on my channel. I am back now. I will be doing regular crap now that I'm not out in the field every day. Deej Odyssey, we do this, that, and the other. And I wanted to say something that I never got to bring up. If you want something that's feel good, if you want something that'll touch your member berries, if you want something that actually make you cry because it did me.
If you say Highlander 2.
No, 8 days ago, the Beatles' final song came out. The final song ever from the Beatles came out. The video's
Oh my God, I haven't heard that yet.
Oh, it's freaking awesome. It made me cry. It's
What are you talking about? Free as a bird?
no, now and then.
No,
Dude,
then.
I'm gonna go look for that. Thank you,
Okay.
Deej, for reminding me.
That was a video that they tried to work on during the anthology, and George said they couldn't do it because they weren't able to separate the vocal of John from the piano he was playing. But since they made that documentary with Peter Jackson, he had the technology. He was actually able to pull John's voice off the recording, and Paul and Ringo finished it by adding in parts that George had recorded back in '95, and they took snippets from older Beatles songs like "Because" to add in vocal harmonizing in the background. It is awesome.
Wow.
Zombie Box Reviews hit over 5,000 subs. Congratulations, Andy. You deserve it. Good for you, brother. That's incredible. Next up is the man who wished he had 5,000 subs 5,000 days ago, Immortal Coil.
Yes, sir. Here I am, your minister of whiskey mysticism. Revolution is my name. Go ahead and check out my channel. We are going live tonight at 11 p.m. Maybe with some of these fatties. I don't know. Come check it out. We're just gonna talk some savage stuff, some spiritual stuff, and we are going to get real. Come see it.
And that's 11 p.m. on the West Coast.
Pacific Standard Time.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to try and be there. I know I said I wouldn't be, but I'm going to really try and be there.
Do your thing, man. It's immaterial.
It's just I'm working.
The show will happen.
All right. I know it's going to happen. I'll bring my big fat D. Next up is one half of like the most awesome crew of commentators that I have had the pleasure, the enjoyment to see back together online again. Black Angus, Rookie Critic, guys. If you haven't checked out those guys and their commentary on Black Angus' channel, you are missing out. Angus, tell them where they can find you and what you do.
Yeah, just look up Black Angus Reviews, pop culture catch-all kind of channel. Just shoot the shit, find funny stuff sometimes, deep discussions, movies mostly. We didn't do it this week because Captain Marvel review took the whole time. It was like 3 hours of just reviewing and deep diving that movie. But we've been reading. I got Rookie a copy and myself a copy of the comic Action Bible, God's Redemptive Story. And so every week we'll be reading a section because Rookie never grew up the Bible, so I'm always having to like educate him on like why are conservatives triggered about this thing.
What a heathen.
Yeah, and so it's like, well, it's because it's like Star Wars and Game of Thrones, where it'd be like, why? What's the deal with the gods? And like, well, this is like medieval times, you know. Everyone's Christian, they follow the lords because God wills it, and this informs medieval fantasy. And so we're having fun digging through these stories, and it's educational. You can come and rebuke us for our blasphemy if you wish. It's a fun time though.
Angus, you know what? When you dipped out, it was when Ryan was leaving, and I didn't get a chance to do something I wanted to do, which was advertise that he's going to have Eric July's what is it? He's going to have his like right hand man on a stream. Yes, on a stream, and discuss the greatness that is ISOM. And you weren't here for that.
Oh so man. I was looking at my YouTube. I saw like that's coming up. So interesting. Maybe I'll be the deep scoop on that interview for Twitter.
You do it. I told Ryan, I said, don't tell Angus you're doing that. Don't.
The deep scoop.
Next up is the producer of Rogue Entertainment and just one of the sweetest people on the internet, Bad Take Tina Bojan. Where can they find you?
We can find me at Tina Bojan on Twitter and YouTube. I'm still working on finding the time to get that second video out. I love y'all, and I want to tell you all about look out for the little guy, because when I say that I'm an MCU geek, I am a true geek. I'm even buying books written by fictional characters now. It's really, really, really scary. But as far as channels or live streams, you can usually find me on Sporky News Podcast. It seems like every night of the week, because I think it's now going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday nights, with Scott starting or restarting Aluminum Sport on Tuesday nights. So you can find me there. And when I'm not there, I'm on Guinea Arts Channel on Friday afternoons, and I try to get there on Sunday nights when I can. Bless you, my dear. So that's about it for me.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate all you guys out there. And please remember to support the channels you enjoy, support the content creators, whether they're making books or comics. If you like them, if you like what they're putting out, what they're producing, by all means. Yeah, I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian. Your historian, whether you like it the fuck or not. Born in the chats with my brothers and sisters, fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other, yet suffer no fools. Peace.
Later.
Good night, everybody.